Hey, I'm Heather. I'm a sexuality empowerment coach, and welcome to my channel. I talk about things like sex and relationships and datings and authenticity. Um, this week I'm doing a Q&A, and if you aren't familiar with what that looks like around here, once a month I answer a question that's been sent in to me, and you can do that either by commenting below or emailing me, heather@AuthenticSexualYou.com, or you can leave an anonymous comment in a form, and I'll link that below in the description. And that's actually the anonymous form is where my question this month comes in. So I have some information. I don't have a heap of information. And whoever you are, I hope you're watching because I feel for you when I read this. Uh, I'm a virgin, but I want to have sex. I'm 32 years old, so I want to get it over with, so to speak. But the problem is, even so much as kissing leaves me with feelings of emptiness afterwards if there isn't a meaningful connection. Also, every time I'm in a relationship, I always end up having insecurities about my body, typical guy stuff, penis size, etc., and not feeling very good about myself because of my disability. The only thing that results in is the relationship ending without sex having happened at all. How do I get past this so I can just have sex and not worry about the emotions? So the reason I feel for you is because it's really frustrating when we want something, but it conflicts against our deeper desires. And there's a lot of stuff in here, so I'm going to try and tackle these questions as much as I can and as efficiently as I can. Number one, regarding the body image, that is such a common thing for so many people. And sometimes I feel, I'm not going to use the word worse for guys, but it's definitely different for guys because women have made a point of finding real body images outside of the media, outside of porn, and not to say that porn doesn't include real bodies, but more diversity in bodies, right? Like there are lots of websites where you can look at women's vulvas that are just pictures of people's vulvas, and they've taken them so that you can see some diversity in shapes and size and coloring and configuration. There aren't as many for penises. I know this because I've spent a bit of time Googling penises to make this video for you. One that I did find though was erectionphotos.com, and that's got about 10 pages of penises, both flaccid and erect, all different shapes and sizes and colors. And my hope is that when you see this, you'll see the diversity in penis shapes and sizes and colors and styles, and that will help you feel a little more secure. Sometimes when we compare ourselves, if we don't have a lot of experience with other, you know, real world or like daily life bodies and nudity, we turn to the media, we turn to porn, we turn to entertainment. And that's not to say those aren't bodies, but they're not diverse examples and they're not what's out there, right? People who get into porn do so because they have really nice genitals. It's a thing. I also am curious as to why you want to ignore the emotional connection. I mean, I feel you. It would be lovely if we could have a switch that would turn off our emotions. And, you know, part of me thinks life would be so much more efficient if we could just like turn off our feels and get stuff done. But casual hookups and casual sex and sex without emotional connection is really only fun if you don't require that emotional connection to not feel negatively about yourself and about the encounter after the fact. If you're the kind of person who desires and who wants an emotional connection, I wouldn't advise you to turn away from that, because you know, if you attempt to get over it by pushing yourself to have sex, you're just gonna wind up feeling really unhappy. I would encourage you to look up the term demisexuality or demisexual, and that's demi spelt D-E-M-I. And that falls under the asexuality, gray sexuality movement. But basically, it's the concept that in order to have sexual attraction to someone, you need to feel a strong emotional bond. And the reason I'm telling you about this is just so you have some other resources to connect to. Now, regarding the disability, you didn't share with me what kinds of disability you have, so I don't know if you're someone who has a cognitive disability, a physical disability, uh, any of those things, but I'm curious if you can talk to your personal support worker if you have one about it. and look for resources that you can share your frustrations with, and see if the people in your circles are able to offer maybe some connections to people who practice somatic body work, or maybe some online forums or some other resources for people who are in similar boats to you and understand all the complexities that can come with that. And this is not a like go date your people. This is a look for people who can support you and offer better resources than I can. So I hope that this gives you a starting point. And I hope that this provides you some information that you find useful. I would encourage everyone to go Google asexuality and learn more about that, and also gray sexuality, sapiosexuality, and demisexuality, because they're sexual proclivities that we don't often talk about. And I think that's just good, geeky information to have. So thanks for sending in your question. I hope it is of some use to you, and I'll talk to you all next week.